dog, you getting entertained. Watch out, the dog is coming. Y'all niggas better start to running.
Well, greetings. It is another Tuesday night, and welcome to the Dog Pound. Unfortunately, K9, the champ, and the future champ, Little K9, are out tonight. Little K9 has a bout as he continues his way in fighting his way up to getting into the pro ranks. So good luck to K9 and Little K9 tonight. Just me and SB holding down the show, and hey, we're looking forward to having a great show. I'm sending Scully a message right now. We're going to have Scully on, of course. I have to talk to Scully. That was Usyk was a possible opponent for his guy. So let me send him a text real quick. Okay. It's one thing about Scully. Sometimes he forgets on that New York time. Okay, send him a message. Then we're going to talk with Mr. Jabron Clement. Those of you that are familiar with the show know Jabron as the professor. Jabron has moved him and his family from New York down to Virginia, and every once in a while he gets a chance to come on the show. So we're going to have him on, and then we're going to talk to Mr. Bones Adams. Great friend of the show, great friend of K9, trainer down there in Vegas. Talk to him about some of the things that's happening, the fighters that he has coming up, and basically just see what's kind of going on in the world of sports tonight. So I sent Scully a message. Where are our comments tonight? I think I'm on the wrong one. There's our comments. Okay. Where's my boys? I'm looking for my boys from Italy. Where's yeah. Okay. All right. So K9's not here. My audience has abandoned me, but we're going on anyway. So, SB, you said you had some pictures of the Joshua fight. Why don't you put those up, and we'll talk a little bit about those as the other guys come in. Yeah. Now, when I talked about this fight last week, I predicted, of course, that Joshua would win, like most of us. I also predicted that Joshua would knock Usyk out in the 8th or 9th round. Okay, so let's get that out of the way. I have my plate of crow here, and it seems to me, now this shows a good jab by Joshua, but Joshua, first of all, I don't think that this was one of those fights that he prepared for. He thought this was going to be a walkover, and he did not recognize the determination of a guy like Usyk. Plus, Usyk seemed to be much quicker all during the fight. He repeatedly kept Joshua at bay, like you see here with that straight left hand. He had a jab that was constantly in Joshua's face, and once again, it also looked to me, that Joshua's body structure, uh, that kind of lean muscle, Mr. America type muscle build. he does not quite have the stamina to carry that for guys that are mobile. And if you look at the Andy Ruiz fight, uh, okay, Scully should be here in a few minutes, and I don't know. Let's see. We're on the air, man. I'll call you back. Man, Joshua, we're on the air. Okay. All right. So that was K9 checking in. He said Joshua was a bum, but of course, with all respect, do a champion that where's he at? Okay, I just it's like okay, come on. Okay. Um, no, being heavyweight champion of the world, you can't actually call the man a bum, but I don't think he wasn't. I I think I definitely can call him unprepared. And as I said, maybe it was because he trained for another fighter, to have he was looking ahead to the winner of Fury and Wilder, and maybe he thought Usyk was a bum. So uh, you never know what is going to happen in boxing until that final bell rings. I do agree with the unanimous decision. I think that was well. At the very most, I might have given uh, Joshua 2 rounds at the very most. So it was uh, a very decisive victory, and it brings a lot of things to question. Now, of course, Joshua says there's going to be a rematch, and I would assume him being the champion that he had a rematch clause. Now, if he didn't, this leaves the whole world open to Usyk. Usyk now has 4 of the 6 belts. He actually has 4 of the 5 because the other one, that's a publicity belt. I don't know exactly where that one came from. I know it's a sanctioning body, but it still is it a legitimate belt? That I don't know, um, or at least not in my eyes. So, as I said, Scully, what's going on, my man?
How you doing?
Oh man, I'm doing great. Glad to see you tonight.
Yes, sir.
Now, there's a couple things that I want to talk about before we get to talking about the actual fights here, and of course, that being October 16th. I've got my running shoes on. I'm just waiting. I can't wait. I'm down here in San Diego. Scully, am I really coming to LA on the 16th?
Well, I'm coming to LA on the 16th, so I guess if I'm coming, you're coming.
All right, man. Okay, well, tell us what we got going on. We've talked about this reunion, and you've given us a lot of information. But have we? I know you said Michael Nunn was going to be there, and some others.
Yeah, Michael Nunn will be there. It'll be my first time actually seeing him in person since the night we fought in 1995. So that'll be good. We've got Virgil Hill coming. We've got Paul Banky. We've got Brett Summers. We got Robert Shannon, who was on the 1980 and the 84 Olympic teams. Zach Padilla, Tony the Tiger Lopez. Quite a few. I can't even think of everybody, but quite a few Quite a few great names. Actually, Avery Rawls, who fought Mike Tyson in the 1984 Olympic trials, he should be there as well.
Oh man, so I guess I better make sure my iPhone's charged up, and all I have to do is get to LA. So now you want to give us, tell the people who don't know or might be there where it's at. Uh, what some of the festivities are going to be. Give us a quick lowdown. I mean, October 16th is only a couple of weeks away, man.
Right, right. Well, basically, it's an amateur boxing reunion. Guys who fought amateur at any point in their lives, one fight or 100 fights, or as a coach or a promoter or an administrator. If you Google, if anyone is watching and they wonder what they're like, just go to YouTube and Google Iceman John Scully boxing reunion. And you'll see a bunch of them. We've got, I mean, you can see videos with Roy Jones, Michael. Montel Griffin, Lamont Brewster, Alex Ramos, all kinds of guys. And we basically just get together and reminisce. Like, for example, 5 guys who I fought at some point in my career, all the way back to 1984, will be there. So I'll be reminiscing with these guys that I've known and done battle with for years.
Oh man, so this is something that I guess we're all looking forward to. This will be the very first what reunion in LA since the pandemic, or is this the first one in LA and that you've had out here?
No, the last one I did there was 2018.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. And now are there any restrictions? I know out here in LA, I believe if you're inside, you have to be masked, right?
I mean, they haven't. Nobody's told me anything. I would assume most guys will probably want to do that. But I actually haven't heard anything on that regard.
I think LA County we don't have it here in San Diego, but I think in LA County, indoor events masked. But
right. Well, I think we might actually take it outside. It's a big gym. It's called Jackson Boxing. I'm not sure the exact address, but I believe they said we can take it outside, which I think it'll be 12 o'clock noon on a Saturday. So I would imagine the weather will be good, and we'll probably want to be outside.
Yeah, it doesn't rain here in Southern California, as the song says. So, we don't worry about that. Now let's talk about some things. That I'm sure everybody's. It's on the tip of everybody's tongue. Scully, I'm going to start with Canelo and the Canelo and the Plant interview. I saw you had some comments there on Twitter, but to me, this was kind of out of character for both fighters. So I'm thinking that it's a publicity ploy. I mean, you just had, Canelo just used the MF word at Boo Boo at his press conference. So now all of a sudden I'm offended. I'm sure he's I'm sure he's been called worse in his career. I mean, and then,
well, you know what? He called Boo Boo the same thing, and now all of a sudden he's mad someone called him that. I mean, come on, like that's a little ignorant. That's a little ridiculous, But I think he just learned English for all intents and purposes. It's very new to him, and I think it's almost comical, like he's becoming a gangster, it's like he's almost like a kid who saw these guys on TV and he wants to be like them. And maybe that's why he had somebody teach him, because he wanted to be able to say all this stuff. But he gets the terminology. I don't curse really, but he gets the terminology a little messed up, and he puts some of the words in the wrong rotation. So it comes out being like a comedy show.
It's kind of like Al Pacino in Scarface, huh? And Cato Plant. I mean, the world's nicest guy. Now all of a sudden, he's a villain. I mean, I don't really know. what his persona is in this fight. I mean, is he the villain? I mean, this is a guy that I mean, he's went through a lot of tragedy in his life. Now he's finally getting that really big payday, uh, happy home life from all. I mean, married to Jordan Plant. I mean, so he's had his ups and downs, but he's always been kind of like the Tom Brady of boxing. You know what I mean? That guy. Uh, I didn't even know he knew how to curse until
Yeah.
So I mean, what's your thoughts? All publicity here or what?
I think, I mean, I met, I don't know Caleb. I can't say I know him. I met him a couple years ago in the gym in Vegas. Seemed like a down to earth, calm guy. Seemed like a real good guy. I think part of it is selling the fight, but part of it is just everything combined. Selling the fight, the nerves. You're there. Canelo's right there. Like it's a reality. This guy is 10 feet in front of me. It's right here. Now we're gonna get face to face. Now something's gonna happen. And and what people need to realize, like, all we see is the video of them face to face. What they don't realize is maybe 2 hours earlier in the lobby of the hotel, maybe some of Canelo's guys said something to him. Maybe they got into a little beef, at breakfast, in the elevator. You're around these guys all the time. That's what people, I don't know if people really realize that. Like, when you see two fighters, Wilder and Fury, they're going to be in the same hotel most likely at their fight. So, Fury's brother is going to see Wilder's brother in the elevator. Maybe they have words, and then he gets back to him. So I think just anytime a guy acts out before a fight, I don't really put too much stock in it, because I know it's under very extreme, unusual circumstances. Being around the guy you're about to fight in a major, the biggest fight of your life ever. So I don't take too much stock in it at all.
Yeah, well, like I said, to me it was really out of character for Caleb, but this new tough guy routine with uh, Canelo kind of came out of nowhere too.
Yeah.
Now, I got to ask you about your fighter, because Top Rank has won the rights for a fight with Arthur against Marcus Brown.
Right.
How's that going?
Well, I was called the other day to get ready. I'm going to be going to camp at some point very soon. So, that's good. I mean, but with the COVID, I do know they said normally I drive to Montreal, and they said I'll be able to come, but I have to fly in. They don't allow you to. I don't know why. I don't know what the difference is, but they don't allow you to drive in. So we'll be going to camp, relatively soon. I didn't see the news. Did they give a date for the fight?
Let's see. I'm looking at it right now. It says Tom Brake has won the. Doesn't give a date yet.
Okay.
Yeah, it hasn't given a date. But I saw it when I was going through the boxing news.
Right.
So now let's talk about Usyk and Joshua. Um, you're the professional, so why don't you give your critique first, and then I'll just ask questions.
Right. Well, from the start, I think, and I said this, a lot of people were more behind Usyk than I was. I think Joshua underperformed for whatever reason, and a lot of people say that, like, oh, he underperformed. But you have to realize that the other guy had something to do with that as well. We never seem to give credit to the other guy for making them underperform for whatever reason. But I kind of like when Fury fought Klitschko, I picked Fury to win. And I said, because he's going to present a style that Klitschko has never seen and is not used to and will not be able to really prepare for because he won't be able to get many guys to spar like that. And I think that might be a part of what happened to Anthony Joshua. I think Usyk has a unique skill set for a big man that I don't think many guys can mimic, and I don't think Joshua was able to really prepare for it like he needed to.
Okay, now I'm going to go back to the physique thing again. Once again, it seemed like he was carrying his upper body was very stiff. I don't know. He had very little head movement. I mean, now was this due to the preparation, or to me, it might have looked like he wasn't physically prepared for a fight with Usyk either. I mean, it was like this guy's he's not my weight class. I can bully him, and I can use my size. Well, that never happened. But
Right.
what did you think? I mean, once again, I think that particular physique against a smaller, faster fighter. I mean, we even saw the same breakdown to me in the Ruiz fight. The only difference being that of course, I mean, he lost both of these fights, but Ruiz was much heavier. But I still think at times he almost reminds you of one of those. What was the rules they used to call it, where the guys came out and held both their hands in front. You know what I'm talking about. Uh,
Marcus of Queensberry.
right, right. I mean, he almost looked like that compared to Usyk. So what was your thoughts about his upper body movement?
I think he's always been maybe a little too big. A little too big for and some guys, even fighters, they can get the idea. And like I'll give you an example. I've been in fights, training for fights, and looking in the mirror, and I see myself with the abs, and biceps are bigger, and it makes you feel good. Like it really does. It's almost like a endorphin release. It's a psychological thing. It makes you feel better. And some guys can get wrapped up in that, and they want to get bigger. They want to get stronger. They want to have that. They want to look like Apollo Creed or whatever it is. But the fact is, it's been proven time and time and time again that it really doesn't mean anything. You get guys with no muscles, no six pack, no anything, but they can fight, they can box. They're very slick, they're very smart, and they win. I mean, even you look at Andy Ruiz. When he was looking worse, he fought better than he did when he looked better. Physically, he lost the weight and did all that, and he didn't fight as well. So I think sometimes guys, they let the mirror fool them and trick them into thinking they may be ready when they're not, when they're actually not.
Now, I mean, this is something. Is this something that he can correct at this particular time in his career? You see who's down. You see who's down there in the bottom there, Scully.
I see JC.
Hey man, it's like a Sunday reunion, guys. What's going on?
Yeah.
Is it? Uh, Jabron, what's going on, my man? Uh, Down
Oh
there from the
man,
state of Virginia. How's the weather, man?
today was our last hot day of the year. Basically, it was 86, and tomorrow is gonna be 70. So the rest of the week is gonna be 70, and we probably won't see the 80s no more.
Oh well, hey, sucks to be you. I'm out here in Cali, but anyway, you got any observations you want to ask Scully while we're talking about Joshua and Usyk?
Sure, I get both of you guys' thoughts on Joshua when you were saying about his fighting technique and different things of that kind. Um, it seems like he to me, it seemed like he didn't have a game plan. If you notice, around the fourth round, Joshua started to make adjustments on the fly. What he was starting to do, and it worked for a little while, but it got to a point where he was getting behind on the card where he needed to throw that out the window and just be aggressive and just go forward and go for broke. But he started adjusting around the fourth round and he started mimicking Usyk. Like he was bobbing, weaving, when and pivoting and moving around, trying to like mimic Usyk. And it worked for a little while because it made it harder for Usyk to land a straight shot on Joshua because he was moving, bobbing, feinting. And what happened in the later rounds when it got the 10th and 11th and 12th round championship rounds, he needed to just walk this guy down. I understand. And if you notice, Usyk back touched the rope one time throughout the whole fight. How is that? How did we get a more exciting fight in the Derek Chisora Usyk fight? Chisora landed more power shots on Usyk than Joshua did. So my question to you guys is, do you think he needs to bring someone else into his camp? Not get rid of his coaches who got him there, but bring someone the same way Tyson Fury brought in Sugar Hill. He didn't get rid of his crew. He brought in Sugar Hill and enhanced his camp. Do you guys think he needs to enhance his camp? And if so, what's a good coach you think would be a good fit for him?
For me, I don't know the inner workings of him and his team. It could be something just with him. You see fighters, and I'm not saying this is what will happen. I'm just giving a scenario. Sometimes a guy will reach a certain point and he'll think he doesn't need anyone. He'll think he doesn't need to listen to certain people within his camp. I don't really know. I don't know if it's him or if he needs a new trainer, if he needs a new pair of eyes. I really don't know. At this point, I mean, at the level that he's at, you would think that they have a good team, that brought him to this point. It might be him. It might be something with him more that he needs to straighten out that a coach maybe can't do. I really don't know. I'd be curious to see what he says and what people in his camp say about, I've seen fighters go along and do everything right and, do what they need to do to get to a certain point. And then I've seen them change psychologically, emotionally, just a different outlook. And they start to look different. And people think they need a new trainer, but they really need a psychiatrist, a psychologist. They need to fix themselves, in a way that another person can't do. So I think that's something they're going to need to figure out relatively soon.
Yeah, I'm kind of the same plan that maybe he needs like a sports psychologist or something like that to get in his head because I don't see at that level. I don't see him making any major changes. His changes will either have to come, as you said when you were talking about the fourth round. I think 4 through 6, where he tried to mimic Usyk. But I thought that with the upper body that he had, that was the reason why he couldn't maintain that. And I thought that also him trying to carry that Adonis chiseled body has a lot to do with it also. I think his muscles get stiff in the later rounds. And I think we saw that also, happen again in this latest fight. But I don't think that, I mean, to me, that's kind of like bringing in a Malik Scott, or I mean, someone, bringing in someone uh, that is closer to your friend rather than your coach. I mean, I mean, let's be honest here. I mean, who is going to is better to equip you to learn how to throw a jab, Malik Scott or Mark Breland? So, I mean, if with Joshua, who are you suggesting that he would bring in? I mean, is there, a Virgil Hunter available? Is there a Freddie Roach available? Is there a John Scully available? I mean, who is better than the team that he has?
Hey, that's a good question. Um, like I've said in the past, some of the former uh champions, the Hall of Famers, I feel like some of them are active in the sport, far as giving pointers and maybe going to gyms and helping certain fighters out and different things. But some of the former heavyweights, I wish Lennox Lewis and Joshua didn't have a feud, because I think Lennox could really help Joshua.
Yeah, that's like I said. I mean, that's a very good point. Lennox Lewis, perhaps someone with the experience of a Lehman Brewster. I mean, there are a lot of heavyweights that he could turn to, but I mean, Scully, does that sometimes get in the fighter's way? I mean, when you're on that level, do you still have those type of grudges?
Those type of what?
Grudges, like he was
Right.
saying, there's a beef between Lennox and Joshua, whereas maybe Joshua could be, I mean, maybe Lennox, gets offers him a, hey, let's go have dinner with Canelo, have some steak, and
Right.
talk, I mean,
Yeah.
Nah, we ain't talking about that type of help.
I mean, like a guy like Lennox. Yeah, see, we don't know if Lennox could be a good trainer, or even he might. I mean, I'm not talking bad about him in particular. I'm just saying him as a hypothetical.
Yes.
He might be a horrible trainer. As great as a fighter he was, he might be horrible. He might not have any skills in terms of teaching something and transferring it. So we really don't know. And like I say, I'm not, I'm my guess. I think it's something more psychological with Anthony Joshua than it is in terms of his technique. I think it's something holding him back psychologically. I think maybe he's not listening to his team anymore. Maybe he feels he's outgrown them. Maybe he thinks he looks better than he does. I don't know, but I think my gut feeling, knowing boxing, and just my gut feeling is that it's probably more psychological than something physical. So a new trainer, unless he's a really psychological guy like an Emmanuel Stewart, it may not make a difference.
Now, do you think the Ruiz knockout psychologically affecting him? Because since that knockout, we haven't seen the aggressive Joshua. Now he's talking about, oh, a jab will take you around the world and all this, but I haven't seen that killer instinct. Like, I'm here, I'm the Terminator. I'm here to terminate you.
Right.
I'm
That's
ready.
what I mean. I think it's a psychological thing, and I've had some guys I've worked with over the years, and training them was easy only because I didn't have to do a lot of work with these guys physically. I recognize with certain guys that their psychological state was the only thing holding them back. And I had a fighter relatively recently I worked with, and I worked with him for a while. He went and fought 2 more fights, and after both fights, but especially after the first fight back, people on Twitter were saying, "Man, what happened to this guy? Like, he's like a new man," and they were very impressed with his fighting. What happened was it had nothing to do with his skills. I didn't do anything with his skills. It was his psychological makeup that I really worked on, and that was the difference. And it made a huge difference, and it continues to. So some guys are in need of that, and a lot of trainers don't recognize that. I know a lot of trainers who have no idea about the psychological makeup of fighters and what makes fighters tick, what makes them apprehensive, what makes them whatever, and they don't know how to deal with it because they don't even know that it's an issue. Like I say, my gut feeling is that Anthony Joshua needs psychological training and help more than he does physical.
Now, what did you think about Usyk and his game plan? And are you looking forward to a rematch?
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting. I was thinking right away of Usyk and Wilder, seeing what they would look like, and Usyk and Fury. See, Usyk and Fury, I don't know if we'd be looking at something really exciting there. If for visual, I'd be more interested and excited in seeing Usyk and Wilder.
Yes.
I think Usyk would really cause a lot of problems for Wilder because of his, mobility. And I don't know if you saw. This doesn't always mean anything, but I thought it was indicative. Did you see the video of Usyk dancing? Did you catch that?
Yeah.
You did. I mean,
Yes.
I didn't expect that. I didn't expect that from the guy at all. And you can see he's got a rhythm that a boxer would need and could really utilize. And
Especially for a big man.
Right. Oh, for sure. I almost didn't think it was him. I'm looking at it and I'm going, man, they found a guy that kind of looks like him. They're kind of like making a joke out of it. And then I realized it was him. And it made a lot of sense because for a big man, he has, beautiful rhythm and timing and that type of thing, similar to Fury, in his elusiveness and the way he's able to, contort his body. A lot of these heavyweights aren't able to do that. They don't even think to do that. And I think these two guys have touched into something that's very effective against bigger men. It started with Ali. I mean, Ali was similar, elusive and different looks and different shapes that guys had never seen before. And, I think these two guys are on to something stylistically in how to deal with heavyweights.
Jabron, what did you think?
I think it was a great game plan. He stood in the center of the ring and boxed Joshua and was very confident. I only seen him stunned, not hurt, but just stunned one time when Joshua hit him with 2 nice uppercut body shots. He went on the retreat a little bit and on the back foot just to gather himself, and then he went back to attacking. But I think it was a great game plan and well executed. And I think it's just going to make him better because now he's gained more confidence. Like, wow, I can really take these big guys' punches, because that was a question for me and a lot of the fans. Like, can this guy really take a punch? Because, he haven't really been hit since he's been a heavyweight. I mean, Chisora landed some shots on him, but, Chisora isn't a one-punch knockout guy or like devastating puncher. He's a heavy puncher, but not devastating. So I think he's gained a lot of confidence within this fight. And I'm just I just can't wait for the rematch because I feel like it's gonna be explosive because I think Joshua really gonna have something to prove, and I think he's gonna go away from that box and then he's gonna just go for broke because he done tried the box and then it didn't work.
uh, Scully, we mentioned Arthur a little earlier, and his championship fight with Marcus Brown, but there was a light heavyweight fight on this same card that was possibly a KO of the year. Mr. Caleb Smith. Did you watch that fight, and what did you think of Caleb's performance?
Yeah, I mean he definitely got the job done. I mean, uh, he made a name for himself at light heavyweight now. Now he's in the mix. But still, I mean, it remains that Arthur is power wise. Arthur would have done the same thing, I'm sure. And Arthur's on a different level. My whole thing is I want to see Arthur busier. The COVID slowed things up, of course. He was on a nice little roll. He was fighting consistently. I think the more consistent he is, the better he's going to look. And Callum or any of those guys. I mean, if Arthur's at his best, he's going to have his way, I believe.
You want to comment on either the Cato Smith fight or the possible fight with Marcus Brown and Benavidez, JC?
I didn't catch the Callum Smith fight, but when we finish, I'm gonna check it out. But I think he's gonna do well in the light heavyweight division. He's a big, long guy. He can box. He's durable. He got a solid chin, and I think he outgrew the 168 division. And with that Canelo fight because his team they had been talking about moving up way prior to that. So he's really been sucking down to get to 68. So I think it's gonna be a good addition to the division. And I think hey, if he get in there with Arthur, I think it'll be a good fight. Um, Probably knockdowns possibly from both because when Arthur let his hands go, he can be vulnerable to get hit. So, hey, but the thing is, he gets up, and what happens when he gets up? Hey, Callum got to be ready for it. So I think it's a great addition to the division, and also we can't forget about Bivol. So maybe he would get a shot at Bivol. They all on the same network, so we'll see.
Okay, guys, let's talk about Crawford and my man.
Showtime.
It's been Sean's been waiting to get this chance, and I see this if it's a typical Sean Porter fight, Sean wins this fight. Now, if it's a boxing match, I think Porter wins. But
Crawford.
I mean Crawford. I'm sorry. But if it's a pit bull battle, I'm looking for Sean to pull it out. What's you guys' thoughts on this?
You can go.
Oh man, I think it's gonna be a very competitive fight. Um, I don't think Terrence. Well, I know Terrence haven't fought on this level. You know, I understand he was undisputed at 140, but this is 147, and the level of competition that he's faced since coming in. I understand Kell Brook. Two-time welterweight champion, but he's seen better days. I don't think those results would have happened if Crawford would have fought Kell a little earlier in his career. With that being said, Bud got so much dog in him that it's scary, right? So I think Bud could possibly get clipped by Porter. We haven't seen Porter put nobody down, but this is a fight that I think that he could put Terrence Crawford down, because Terrence, when you get Terrence in a fight and he get hit with a good shot, he wants to get back. He want to try to get it back immediately, and that's just that dog in him. And what happens is he ended up getting clipped when he does that. But the opponent that he's fought haven't been able to capitalize on that, like someone like a Sean Porter or Earl or Keith. I feel like a fighter at that level will be able to take advantage of some of the things that he's gotten away with in prior fights. So I'm leaning my hat towards Sean Porter. I don't think it will be a knockout, but possibly a knockdown within the fight. And I got Sean by close unanimous decision. 115, 113.
Come on, Ice.
Well, it's a tough fight, and it's tough fight for both guys. One thing about Sean, and he was here, a few weeks ago, and we worked together. And one thing I told him that I liked about him was he makes it tough on everybody. Like, he imposes himself. He brings himself, everything he's got. And you're gonna, if you're not feeling good that day, you're not gonna have fun boxing with Sean. And he's used to fighting bigger guys. I think we've talked about it before, but when he was an amateur, he fought, he beat Usyk in the amateur. I don't know if you know that. He beat Usyk. He beat Edwin Rodriguez. I mean, he beat some of these guys who were big 165 pounders. So Sean is obviously fearless. He's not afraid to box bigger guys. Crawford's very talented. I mean, this is I would call it a pick'em fight for different reasons. You have the skills and the traditional boxing and the southpaw and all these different things. But Sean just brings that factor where you have to bring everything you have to beat him. And I think Errol Spence found that out. A lot of people thought Errol was too strong and hit too hard for Sean. And, obviously that was not the case. I mean, it was a really tight fight. Me personally, I would love to see Sean win, and I certainly think he can. He's obviously going to have to be at his best, though. He's going to, I wouldn't go so far as to make a solid prediction right now, but I like it. I think a lot of people see Crawford as a favorite, but I see it more of a pick'em fight. And part of the reason just being, this is going to be the first time Crawford's fought a guy like Sean, who's got that type of dog in him that's just never quit, never say die, and not just like we all fight guys that don't quit. Very few guys actually quit. But I mean, Sean is like Walter Payton running the football. Like, he's always trying to score all the time. Like, even the team is down 80-0 and there's a minute left, and he's still trying to score. He still wants to get 6 points, and that alone, makes him a very live fighter in this match.
Yeah, it sounds, I just can't wait to see the fight. I think this is one of those that we've been looking for years, and I'm looking forward to it. On a much, well, I guess a downside for me, guys. What did you think about this Holyfield fight? I understand, maybe for the money, but this is something that I don't see how it possibly got sanctioned. What were you guys' thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I'll say this. I mean, how in the world can anyone sanction that fight? It just shows you what people have been saying and knowing for years. Like, money controls all of that. The commission, and I've said this for years, commissions aren't in control. the big time promoters are in control. They tell the commissions what's about to happen, and it's not right. I mean, if you said to someone, what would you say if we said Evander Holyfield, who hasn't fought in 10 years and he's just about 60 years old, and he's looked terrible for the last 20 years, we're gonna have him fight a guy, who's trying to knock him out, a big guy. What do you think? And people would say, "Oh, that's crazy. You could never do that."
A known steroid user too. Don't forget that part.
Yeah, all everything combined. It makes no sense. Like, we're talking almost 60. He gets free coffee at McDonald's. He's that age, and he's in here fighting this guy. It's just
I resemble that remark, Scully.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with the free coffee, but I'm just saying there's a reason you get it, right?
Go ahead, Jabron.
I'm just glad it wasn't Tyson, man, because Tyson still got enough in the tank that he would have knocked Holyfield out.
Yeah,
he would have knocked him out. And he want to get his get back anyway. So Tyson would have had that extra on it. It would have just, I'm so glad it wasn't Tyson, because they was trying to make that fight. I'm so glad it wasn't, because I think it would have been worse.
What do you guys think about Teofimo moving up to 140?
Go ahead.
Oh, he's
be fighting Josh Taylor?
Well, he says he wants to move up to 140. That would be the obvious, So, what do you think? Is he ready for Josh Taylor?
Yeah, he's ready.
You say it. You say it like the guy reaching for that last piece of chicken. Nobody else want this piece, right? I mean, it's not a lot of conviction there.
He's ready. My sound had went out. My headset had went out. That's why.
No, I'm thinking, 140. Guys a little bit bigger. But go ahead. What's your thoughts? See, I mean, would he need a tune-up before Taylor at least?
Nah, go into the fight. You're supposed to be bad.
Hey, but he has to make sure that he takes his medicine. What it runs out 3 days before the fight. But go. What's your thoughts on that, Scully? Him moving up to 140.
Well, I mean, the thing is, the Lomachenko fight was a while ago. We haven't, other than like he's living off of that win, but we haven't really seen, a ton from him. He's, that's like anything that people know about him, they know from the Lomachenko fight. I'd like to see him perform more and see what he looks like against someone else at a high level. I don't know. I mean, Josh Taylor's he's a good fighter. He's the man up there. And I mean, it's a risky fight. I'll say that much for Teofimo, for sure.
And I guess a guy that to me has always been a very gutsy fighter. I don't know exactly where to put him, but he would. To me, I put him in any tough man contest, and I'm talking about Gabe Rosado. What do you think about Gabe Rosado? His last performance, and now there's a talk of him fighting. Who's this? He's supposed to be fighting, I believe.
Is it Munguia?
Munguia, right? Yeah. So Scully, you can take this one.
I mean, you got to give it to him. I mean, he did something. Usually guys in his position lose to the Russian guy that he lost to. They give the guy a good fight, a good test, but they lose. And years from now, when that guy's talking about how he became champion, he'll say, yeah, and on the way up, I fought a tough guy like Gabe Rosado and I beat him. But Gabe flipped it on him and knocked him out. And so Gabe is proof that the records, you can't go by the record. You can't look at his record. He's a perfect example of a guy you can't look at his record and think that you're gonna walk over this guy. You can never count him out. And he's obviously a much better fighter than his record. And he's anybody who fights him is gonna have to be on the top of their game, 100%.
Gibran, we've discussed.
I can't wait for the fight.
I know.
I can't wait for the fight.
We've
it
talked
is gonna
about
be fireworks.
Yeah,
it's gonna be fireworks. I mean, boy, Munguia let it fly, and Rosario, you already know what he bringing to the table. So I think it's gonna be a bloodbath.
Yeah, hey, it should certainly be very entertaining. Scully, as usual, I know you said you only had 20 minutes, but hey, we'll let you go. What else is going on up there in your world? Any big boxing things going on up there in New England? And of course, we've already given a shameless plug to the reunion. So,
well, that's
too bad
my.
You're not gonna be out here, Gibran.
Say that again.
Say, too bad you're not gonna be out here October 16th, man.
What's going down?
That's the Scully's reunion. I'll be there.
Oh man.
Up here in
Michael
LA,
Nunn.
man.
Michael Nunn's gonna be there. Virgil Hill, Paul Banky, bunch of guys, and I can't promise. I shouldn't even be saying anything, but don't be surprised if Tyson shows up.
Oh man, hey, I'll be there with my iPhone and everything else electronic that I can, find. But yeah, I'll definitely be there, Scully. So,
right.
Yeah. So, as I was saying, anything happening up there in New England? Any Golden Gloves? Any amateur things going on?
Yeah, we just did an amateur show Friday night at the Hartford Convention Center, downtown Hartford. Nice show. And we're doing one actually next weekend, an outdoor show, free to the public at this there's a place called the Parkville Market, and it's a place that has like 20 different restaurants, and everybody gets their food and they go outside and they eat outside on picnic tables, and there's lights, and it looks like a Mexican fiesta. Really good place. They have live music, and we're gonna set up a ring right there in the middle of everything outdoors, and we're going to do an amateur show next Sunday. So we'll be here for that. And then the next weekend, I'll be out in Los Angeles with you.
All right, my man. Hey, thank you so much, Scully. And we appreciate you as always, my man.
All right, guys. Thank you. I appreciate being here, and I'll see you next time.
All right, man. Yeah.
All right.
All right, Scully.
All right, Jabron. Okay.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to having that big weekend out there with Scully and the boys, man. It's going to be my first trip out. I'm actually going, I believe, the 30th. Yeah, the 30th to see about getting my booster shot before I go out there. I'm not sure about the mandate settings for LA, but hey. Gibran, man, hey, as always, man, it's always good talking boxing with you, man. Anything going on down there in Virginia? Any shows down there that you've heard about? Anything you keep up with?
No shows right now, but I'm just excited about this last quarter of the year. Oh man, all this boxing. We got Shakur Stevenson and Herring. We got Canelo and Caleb Plant. We still got Wilder and Fury, Rosario, Parker Chisora 2, the rematch. Man, there's a lot of good fights coming up.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. And fortunately for us, we'll be able to watch a lot of them. We're going back to having live audiences in a lot of cases, partial live, and others. Some arenas won't be full, but people are getting back to use to watching these things. There was a very interesting question I was thinking, and that was about like the effect of uh, Jake Paul on boxing and the revenue that it brings in. And of course, there was, Jake Paul did give away $1 million of dollars of his last purse to the fighters on the undercard. So, what's your thoughts on that, Gibran? What's up, Bones? How's it going, my man?
Good, my brother. Go ahead, Javon. Go ahead and answer that.
Yeah, I mean, the more eyes we can get on the sport, the more fans we can get, in these arenas, more fans subscribing to more boxing channels. Anything that can grow the sport, I'm all for it. Is the only part that I don't like is just it kind of like takes away from an opportunity for a guy that might have been boxing since he's 5 years old, going to the gyms, going to the tournaments, doing all this thing, and you got some guy who just skipped the line and get a fight. That's the only thing that that hurts for me. But far as trying to grow the sport and get more eyes on it, I'm all for it.
Not just get a fight. Yeah, I would be all right if he got a fight. It's the price that he gets a fight for. That's the thing that kind of irritates me. I mean, like you say, you got a guy that's been fighting since he's 5 years old to get to this particular place, and he's getting, just arbitrary $25,000 for a fight. And then you got a guy that because he's a YouTube sensation, he gets $6 million for a fight, and never, seriously attacked a boxing gym in his life. So that's the thing that bothers me: the disparity in the money, not so much the popularity of the game. But yes, I definitely agree with you, Gibran. I know it's about time for you oh well, you want to answer this last question here? If Telefimo beats Cambaros, what do you think that'll do for the profile of Telefimo?
It all depends on what fashion he beats Camboso in. If it's a spectacular knockout, of course, he'll be back on top again. But even though he have a knockout, I don't think it's gonna put him over the top because he's been too inactive since he won the fight against Lomo. Even Lomo done fought since then. Please, Lomo about to fight again. 2 times since they fought. So, I don't think it's gonna do that much for him. But if it's a spectacular knockout, it'll just get him a little buzz.
All right, well, hey man, you want to give us your final thoughts, man? I know it's time for you to get out of here too.
Well, thanks for John on my hat. Appreciate you. And as I always, man, just keep growing the sport. Share this video, tell a friend and tell a friend. Boxing is always alive. And thank you guys for having me on.
All right, my man. I'll talk to you soon. You have a great night.
All right, man. Have a great night, Bones.
Thank you, Javon. You too, brother.
Oh man, yeah. Bones, how you doing this evening, man?
I'm doing good. Seems like I came in an interesting topic.
Yeah, we had Scully on earlier, and we were talking
Man,
about
Scully, yeah.
Scully's been around for a long time.
Hmm.
Scully's been around since I guess one of our very first shows with Emmanuel Stewart. So Scully's been quite a friend of the show.
Yeah.
Hey, I guess the first thing I got to ask you, man, is how are things going out there in Sin City, man?
It's going good. You know what I'm saying? Things is just everything's kind of just moving slow, and it just seems even the fighters and everything is kind of the gyms, all the gyms slowed down. I don't know why it just seemed like that, but it's hard to find sparring, hard to find guys. I mean, my gym kind of stays. Mine's kind of more of a private gym, anyways,
Yeah.
but it kind of stays steady throughout the day and no big no rush ever, like ever. And usually, sometimes you just get so many overwhelmed with people in there, but just hasn't been that way.
You have a very unique setup. Anybody that goes to Las Vegas and has seen your gym knows. You're kind of out and away from everybody, and
Correct.
very very private. So you work with your guys, and I guess not that type of
Well, I've had the pleasure of
assembly line. I guess
well, true,
you.
true,
I,
true.
I
It's not the cookie cutter type of gym.
right,
It's
right.
not Floyd has the dog pound. I got the boneyard. You know what I mean? So it just but I was gonna say that I have the pleasure of Jeff Finnick being in my gym lately, and I'm hoping that he's gonna stay here for a while.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay. Well, you attract some very talented guys, Bones. I mean, everybody knows your reputation. You are about the business of boxing. If they if they come to Bones Gym, it's not about the BS.
No,
So
I'm not a
you.
cheerleader. I'm not gonna say, "Oh, you're doing good." You know you're doing good. Why the hell am I gonna tell you that? I'm gonna tell you when you're messing up. That's my job. So we get those cheers from everyone else.
There you go. There you go. See, completely different uh, outlook. Uh, So, Bones, let's talk about some of the things that's happened, here lately, and I want to start with the Usyk fight.
Right.
I think a lot of people underestimate Usyk. I will be truthful; I was one of them. I thought that he would do very well with Joshua, but I figured the championship rounds would be Joshua's rounds.
Yeah.
Instead, they turned out to be Usyk's rounds.
Right.
As a matter of fact, you could say, with the exception, I think I had 3 rounds
Mhm.
at the most for Joshua.
I you know
Yeah,
I only watched from round 7 on,
okay. Well,
and
then you probably didn't have any rounds for Joshua.
but no,
No, but maybe the sixth and seventh.
I tell you the truth. Listen, it was just you kind of knew the only chance Joshua has at the beginning. He didn't have any chance at the end. You know what I'm saying? Just too good a condition, too good a shape. I was over in Russia when Usyk won the undisputed cruiserweight title. I watched him fight there. It was just fantastic. Blew my mind. We all kind of knew that he was going to win. All the guys around him bet on him. So everybody at my gym did. Very few went with Joshua.
I should have called you.
Joshua. Yeah, just I don't want to say this, but I got to because I think that he has all the talent in the world, but he's stuck in this rut and not learning anything because he's got the same team, and he needs someone to not necessarily. I'm not saying me. I'm just saying in general, someone to mix it up and change it up a little bit and put a light of fire in his ass because he's doing the same thing over and over and over, and he can kind of get away with it, but not all the time, and this shows it.
We talked about that earlier with Scully and with Gibran. When I was at Gibran brought up, the question of should he change
Right.
his team. Scully said, and I kind of agree with Scully, is that maybe instead of changing his team, maybe he should call in, maybe a sports psychologist or someone of that nature that's not going to be a rah man, but tell him, that his flaws not only as a boxer but as a man. Uh, but then, we were also thinking, that it was brought up that maybe he should change trainers because he is doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result. And we know what that means.
Well,
But
my issue is this: I don't think necessarily take them out because they got him where he is. They know it. Listen, but we need to add to. You know what I'm saying?
okay,
They need someone to add to add some. Hey, not a cheerleader, not a psychiatrist. Listen, a great trainer, good coach, whatever you want to call him, because it varies, but they will know how to get to him and make him do things that he never did before.
okay. Now, I also mentioned uh, his body,
Mhm.
and I think that he's more. I don't want to say. Well, yes, I will say. I think he's more in tune with his body than he is with boxing.
Right.
In other words, he wants those abs, he wants that chiseled effect, but it's not helping him as a fighter. And I thought in the last part of the fight, the fact that he had no upper body movement also played into the fact of his losing. What was
Right.
your
Right.
thoughts?
I mean, the same thing that all those muscles come with a cost. So just like you said, he can't move. He gets fatigue. He's missing. He's just, he can't. I just, I really never was a Joshua fan. I feel like he got very, very lucky when he beat Klitschko. So, I would just, I think he should just retire. So. I'm telling you.
Now let's go on the other side now because we've really messed up some money here.
Yeah.
When you talk, I mean, everybody's expecting Joshua to meet the winner of Deontay Wilder and
Mhm.
Fury. Well, that's kind of out of the window now.
Yeah.
So
It's still
that
be a
big.
huge fight, though. It's still be a huge fight.
Yeah, it would still be a huge fight, but now I mean, somebody has to fight Usyk.
Exactly. I
Yeah,
know. I know.
yeah,
That's fine.
yeah,
But listen, hey, he draws just as much in his country as Joshua does. So I mean, they do just as good over there.
yeah,
So
and
if not better. So
yeah.
it's gonna be a big fight wherever wherever it's at.
So, what are you thinking now that you have uh, Deontay Wilder and Fury coming up?
Right.
So I mean, both fighters, Fury and Joshua, I think,
Mm-hmm.
were. I mean, Fury and Wilder
Wilder.
were looking forward to this mega fight with Anthony Joshua. Because let's face it, most people thought Joshua was going to win, and so forth and so on. We
Mm-hmm.
had kind of put that back on our plate, marked a date, so forth and so on. So now does this have any effects on the two of them, knowing that that mega money is not out there anymore?
Oh, that's what I just said. Though I think the mega money is still there. He's just the biggest draw in Russia, or wherever than Joshua is over in England. So the money's still there. A huge fight still there, but they need to worry about each other first before they go anywhere because that's a close fight. Listen, my thing is like you do have to fight a perfect fight to beat Wilder, and I can't see Tyson Fury to fight another perfect fight.
I think you came in on the. We were asking about Telefimo moving up to 140.
Right.
Your thoughts?
I mean, I think he's a small guy, but yeah, I mean, we'll see. I just like to see him fight anybody. Just as like he said, he hasn't fought nobody in what a year and a half. So, I don't know how long it's been, but you know, Lomas fought 2 fights, so and had surgery and fought 2 fights. About to have fought 2 fights. So I think he's just the inactivity is just hurting him right now.
Terrence Crawford, Sean Porter.
Yeah.
This is a fight, that I'm looking forward to seeing. I have high hopes for this fight. I'm looking at it this way: Terrence Crawford, the better boxer,
And puncher. And puncher, no doubt.
okay, and puncher. But if it's a dog fight, if you got Sean Porter in your chest all fight, I think Sean wins that fight.
Right.
So, what's your thoughts on the styles and what you would do if you were training each fighter?
They just think you got like for one, if I was Sean, I would just have him not taking so many punches. But that's just his style. He's in your face. He's willing to take one. They give you his, and wear you down. The main thing is wear you down. He's an okay puncher, I believe, but not a big puncher. To where he just I just can't see him beating Crawford because Crawford I just don't listen. It's not gonna be an easy fight, but I'm telling you, there's something about Crawford. It's just that as we just speak before, there's a dog in him that just I don't care what's on his back, he's getting it off his back. He is gonna be there and dog just come out.
So you think that Crawford is the better? I mean, that Crawford will take out this victory.
I think it's not gonna be an easy win, but I think he's gonna win. It's not gonna be easy though, but he's gonna win. There's just there's certain people just like Sugar Ray when he fought Leonard the first time. They just got these dogs that just don't matter how bad, how rough, they get rougher, tougher, hard. They just do it, and Crawford has that dog in him.
Speaking of dogs, Scully's training one,
Yeah.
and he got the call, about the Benavidez Marcus Brown fight. It'll be they haven't said when it'll be, but Top Rank has won the rights. And what's your thoughts on that light heavyweight matchup?
It's hard to beat Benavidez. Listen, that's another. Hey, you're right. Speaking of another dog, hey, he's the same way, bro. I don't care what he's gonna dig down. He's gonna punch, but he's gonna take whatever. I don't care. Take a punch, give it, and just go harder and harder and harder. And I can't see anybody beating him right now. Not right now. Too big, take 2 good punches. Too strong.
Did you see the Caleb Smith knockout?
I did not. I missed it.
Because it's a candidate for, of course, KO of the year, and he would. I'm thinking the next fight, if Benavidez wins, it'll be Benavidez against Caleb Smith. What do you think? Your thoughts on that matchup?
Like I said, I can't see anybody beating Benavidez right now. The only person who can beat Benavidez is himself as of right now, and maybe Canelo because man, Canelo he's a beast upon a beast. So.
What did you think about that press conference, Bones? And I was thinking, I'm thinking back about all the years that I've seen Canelo. I mean, he comes out here to the House of Boxing, San Diego to train. So
Right.
I've seen him in the gym and out in public and regular press conferences. Caleb Plant, have known the young man since he was I think 4-0 and living in Nashville. Always been a gentleman until that particular day. I never knew that he even knew how to curse. Canelo,
Yeah.
Canelo, on the other hand, I mean, it was just what 2 press conferences ago that he was calling Boo Boo Andre the MF word, and all of a sudden now it offends him. So I'm thinking that this was, is Vegas, and it's selling tickets.
Yeah. Well, so is the press conference all about selling tickets?
Yeah, I mean, I thought it was kind of out of character for both men, and I didn't really take it seriously.
You know what? That's not out of character for them. They both have, they both feel like they're the best. They really do. So that's why it's so personal. And I guarantee it. Listen, it is a honest and truly hatred because they don't like each other. They both think they're the best. And they're gonna both. I'm saying that fight right there. I mean, I guarantee you right now, they do not like each other for real. That is not for show. That is
Okay.
the true. But I'm saying that's true, and I'm saying it's gonna be a great fight. I would not miss that for nothing.
Well, hey Bones, as always, my man, it's great having you on the show. Appreciate all
Hey,
I have to do is call and you're there. So
hey, can I talk to you? When I got on here though, you guys were talking about Jake Paul.
right.
So and I heard a few things that you guys said it doesn't seem fair. Does it? He paid his dues by not necessarily in boxing, but in other ways. And it's the same way as this. Like, so you think it's fair that we all fight for a world title, right? Just say we're world champions and we fight and stuff. Do you think it's fair that the heavyweight champion of the world gets 25 million, but the bantamweight champion that fights just as hard, did just as much, if not more, and did everything, gets 100,000? So you know what I'm saying? This depends on who you are and what you bring in. He brings in those numbers, so therefore he needs the money. You know what I'm saying? He deserved the money.
Oh,
So to get away.
and he's done great things for the sport. Like I said, he took $1 million of his own money and donated it to the other fighters. I'm sure I mean, Amanda Serrano, that was probably her biggest payday that she's ever had, and I'm sure, and I'm sure a lot of those guys on the undercard, of course, that's the biggest,
They do a lot for the sport, meaning they get new eyes on the younger eyes.
And he's from Cleveland. Yeah, I mean, I'm being from that particular area, Youngstown, Ohio. I mean, we had that rivalry with Cleveland and Akron and then Columbus. But he has done more for the sport as far as putting eyes on the sport and bringing that particular attention to Cleveland, than in any other fighter that I mean, there's probably 10 or 15 fighters that
correct,
fighting out of Cleveland that don't have the same impact. So I'm a little jealous there. But I understand what you're saying, but and I don't think that he's bad for the sport in the sense of like drugs and things like that. But I do think that perhaps when you're a young guy, that's coming up in the sport, you have to wonder, is all I need is a publicist rather than a trainer. So
well, you need both because he has a real trainer as well. He has a real trainer
right.
with PJ Flores. I mean, he has the best of both worlds, and I mean,
Well, and it took him a time to get there. I mean, it
Right.
wasn't like he just first started out and BJ said, "Hey, man, I want to take you," and no, he had to show a certain amount of grit and determination,
Well, yeah.
in order for him
Let
to
me tell you
get there.
something. He trains here sometimes when he comes to Vegas, and he trains out harder than the regular fight. He wants it. He's learning. He's man. I mean, I know. I feel what everyone thinks it because I started at 5 years old, but this, if I didn't accomplish and put asses in the seats or showed the pay-per-views, I would deserve the money too. So, he did his job. His job is to sell tickets. That's first and foremost. He does sell pay-per-view. He does. So, and whoever he fights, whoever he fights. My thing is that I think the undercard of him should be so strong, meaning great fights, great fight. Like, but to get these new people to really like boxing, to really like, I gotta see it, I gotta see it. And most of the time, those undercards are, I think it's shitty fights.
Yeah,
That's the part, and I like to see. Listen, just make them great fights because these matchmakers know what makes great fights. Make great fights, get new fans to love the sport as children and growing up, and the whole sport will grow for years upon years.
So, you mentioned that he comes to your gym. What does he walk around at?
Probably about 85 or something like that.
185.
Yeah, 80, 85 or something. He's not big. He's big, but not. He takes care of himself. I'm saying he trains 3 times a day at least. You know what I'm saying? At least, and for hours. Like he loves, eats, sleeps, and drinks boxing.
Well, he's made tremendous progress between fights 1 and fights 4.
Correct. Right.
And you can see that he has started to adapt and become. I thought this last fight showed that he has become a boxer.
Right.
And he does.
Well, one thing too, Woodley knew not to come in that right hand.
Yeah.
He's like, listen, that day. People think he was playing, but I'm telling you, he didn't get caught with that right hand. That's why he didn't go and like press the issue.
Well, hey, so you do you train him personally, or do you? I know you are
he
very.
trains my gym with my good for BJ. BJ, he takes care of himself.
Okay. But you and BJ are like hand in glove also. So come on, come on.
Me and him is very good. We're close and stuff. They ask for stuff, and we just, I just help out a little bit, but it's all BJ. BJ does it all. BJ's doing more than a great job with him. So.
You got any guys coming up soon? Getting in the ring, Bones?
Well, hopefully, I think November 2nd be Mike Hunter again on the Triller card. I think Kevin Newman may be on the Canelo card. I'm not sure. He just called, and I think me and Rory trained him together. So I may start helping him and stuff and get ready for that fight. Man, it seems like that so many dates to remember. I forget them all. But I had some fights. I just had Deontay Brown fight in Atlanta, Georgia. He won. He's a 130 pounder. And I don't know, man. I'm just trying to, my job is I just go to the gym and whoever's there, I just train. So and then I worry about the dates and stuff. I need to come up a way. If someone can help me out, come up with a way to have them all listed and scheduled so I can remember. Write it down somewhere.
Bones, you got an iPhone, man.
Yes,
we'll figure it out. Hey, we can figure it out. When's the last time you had to remember a phone number? I mean, come on, we got an iPhone. We can figure it out. Don't worry.
I know it's hard. I can't even remember mine. So
see,
I can't. You're right. We get lazy with that. I remember back when we were kids, where you remembered everybody's number.
Everybody's phone number.
Everybody's. So.
Grandma, grandpa, uncles, nieces, nephews. Yeah.
Hey, John, I was gonna say, listen. He does not deserve a world title. No.
Does Jake?
He does not. No, not even close yet. But I'll tell you, I know the kid. He's willing to put the time in a few years and try getting there for sure. I already know the kid. He's determined. So it's not just about money with him, although it helps him, with his lifestyle. But I'm telling you, like this kid, he's gonna try. He's gonna try to get one. I guarantee you.
Bones, he lives in Cleveland. He doesn't need that much money. Trust me. He can get, it's not like the cost of living.
He just they live in Puerto Rico, so.
They live, oh well. Hey, you know, hey, that's even worse. You don't have to. Do you have electricity? Is a hurricane coming by? You never know. It's like
No, but
that's
I'm
even.
saying, but I'm saying with the living is because I mean the best trainers, the best massage, just best living, like the best training camps, the best nutritionists. But he can afford the lifestyle to have
Yeah, yeah,
whatever he needs, he's got. You mean
yes, yeah.
that's what I meant by lifestyle,
Oh yeah,
not nothing else. So
yeah. Well, hey Bones, thanks as always, my man, and we look forward to talking to you next time. K9 and the future world champion, little K9, they're out. They're boxing tonight, so next
yes,
time
I
you
was
come
wondering where
on,
they were.
yeah, don't worry. I'll let K9 know that you're on. I know you guys got a hell of a
Yeah,
history, and so I'll make sure that he's here the next time. So
oh man,
thank you so much,
it's always a
Bones.
pleasure. Yeah, thank you, James. Thank you, appreciate it. Thank you,
Hey,
everybody. Thank you.
tell us your social media, man. I know you don't
Um,
indulge on it that much, but
I really don't. But my Instagram is bones.adams.boxing, and pretty much all I have on there is boxing stuff. Nothing else. Just try to get when I can remember. I do a lot of stories because the guys tag the gym and stuff because I'm not really into it. So it's easy for me to do the stories. Just watch the stories and you'll see a lot of exciting things and new things in the gym.
all right, Bones. Thank you so much, man. Look forward to talking
Thank
to
you,
you.
guys. Anytime. Thank you. Thank you. Thank
All right.
you.
Well, guys, I hope you enjoyed the show tonight. Like I said, we're just trying to, carry on while the champ and the future champ are out on the road. So have a great night, everyone. We look forward to talking to you next Tuesday right here on the Dog Pound. Talk to you later. Peace.